What's up, you Washington football maniacs? It's your boy Brandon Scott. My co-host Greg Sykes has a night off. He's dealing with a flu right now, so he's dealing with a really serious flu. So definitely keep him in your prayers. And it's been 9 days since our last upload. My wife has been sick also, so we've kind of taken some family time. But we are going to talk about a lot of big news. As you know, new ownership in DC, so we're definitely going to get into it. And at the end of the episode, we're going to go over our new concrete schedule. So, we're going to talk about what the schedule looks like going towards training camp, preseason, and the regular season, and going forward. So let's jump into it. As you guys know, today is officially the first day of Josh Harris being the new owner as of the Washington Commanders. Sorry. Yesterday there was a unanimous vote by the NFL's ownership, and they approved the sale of the Washington Commanders from Dan Snyder to Josh Harris. The price was $6.05 billion. That's again $6.05 billion sale. It is, I believe, it is the biggest sports franchise sale in North American sports. So, I mean, it's big news. Big news. New ownership. Josh Harris, part of his ownership group is, as you know, Magic Johnson. So let's dive into it. New era in Washington football history. Dan Snyder, he's been here 20 plus years. He's just been, I mean, there's many words to describe Dan Snyder, but I'm trying to keep it PG-13 for y'all. But man, wow, a new era, new ownership. Big news for this fan base, because in my opinion, this is the best fan base, not only in the NFL, but in sports, period. This is a very storied franchise that has a lot of culture, a lot of history. And we're going to talk about the name in a little bit. But again, I just want to emphasize that this is a big, big move for DC. It's a big move for the fan base, big news for the DMV area. You bring in Josh Harris, who also owns the Philadelphia 76ers and the New Jersey Devils of the NHL. He knows how to build franchises into winners. If you know anything about the Philadelphia 76ers, they are perennial contenders every year. Now, this all season, there's it's going to be some hiccups, but and the same thing with the New Jersey Devils. They have had a competitive franchise for a while now in the NHL. So Josh Harris today, I was going to today they had a pep rally and press conference for Josh Harris, Ron Rivera, and Magic Johnson. I was going to attend, but my wife is not feeling too well. So, but I will be attending training camp. But today at FedEx, they had a press conference and they had a kind of a pep rally for the fan base. And yesterday, after the vote by the NFL owners, it was called Burgundy and Sold. It was an event in DC where Josh Harris actually bought everybody a beer. So he's already a better owner than Dan Snyder. I'm just saying. So, again, before we move on, Josh Harris, he's a competent owner. He's going to revitalize his franchise. But going forward, there are four things that I think he needs to address this year. But we're going to go ahead and move on again. Let's go ahead and give it up, because Dan Snyder is gone. Do not let the good Lord, or don't let the doorknob hit you, where the good Lord split you. And so goodbye, Dan Snyder. Hello, Josh Harris. Welcome to DC. But talking about Dan Snyder, on his way out, he was actually fined $60 million. Now I get it, for someone like Dan Snyder, $60 million is a drop in the bucket. For a lot of us, that's significant money. But he was fined due to workplace misconduct. So, having a toxic workplace, a lot of the sexual assault allegations, he was fined $60 million. So, hate it or love it, agree with it or not. I get it. $60 million, to a billionaire, drop in the bucket, but he's out of here. So, just, we'll send him on his way. So, there are four things that I think that ownership needs to address this incoming season. Let's go ahead and start with the first one. Magic Johnson and Josh Harris both said that the name change of the Washington Commanders is a possibility, and they're really looking at moving on from the name because it is connected to the Dan Snyder regime. So, I know a lot of people are not happy with the name. You look at my background, I got a Commanders shirt, Commanders jersey, but I am a Redskins fan since the day I was born. Now, I was born in 1985. I don't quite remember the Super Bowl teams, but I remember, family members of mine who are very happy about the Super Bowl teams. You're hearing a lot of the old heads talk about, the era of the Super Bowl championships. Is just, there was an electrifying fan base, a very, very, very loyal fan base that people forget that with Jack Kent Cook, he had a lot of clout. He had a lot of clout where, he had connections to government, he had connections to state officials. The Redskins the Redskins was a premier team to watch. Season ticket holders had to wait 20 years on the waiting list to get season tickets. Now I'm a season ticket holder now. Now you just, there's a payment plan. But there was a time when the Redskins was just synonymous with success. So hopefully Josh Harris brings, the expectations and the standard of success back to DC. But getting back to the name change, the name change not very popular. Like I said, I own gear I got more Redskins gear than I have anything else, but I do have, a little bit of Washington football team gear and some Commanders gear because I just try to support the team. As much as I hated Dan Snyder, I try to support the team. But again, the Commanders name has never been very popular. Me personally, I like the Red Wolves. I think that, I don't know what the options are, but I think that definitely both Max Johnson and Josh Harris both said that name change is very possible. You very well could see a name change and another rebrand. Hopefully, it's the last one for a minute. But for you guys that do not like the Commanders brand and name, there's some light at the end of the tunnel. The second thing that I think new ownership that is, should address is the stadium. Obviously, the area around RFK is owned by the federal government. They were very reluctant to deal with Dan Snyder. Maybe they warm up to Josh Harris and his ownership group. The Commonwealth of Virginia, which is where I'm actually from. I'm from Loudoun County, Virginia. They've been rumored to really have a strong pitch of bringing the Commanders to the Commonwealth of Virginia. And maybe with new ownership in place, maybe the governor and the legislature of Maryland reapproach the Commanders. And if they don't, refurbish FedEx Field, maybe they have a whole new area for a whole new stadium. So there's definitely options, but I think they need to get on it because I believe the stadium lease is up in 2027. So it definitely behooves new ownership to get on it and really try to work out the new stadium details, whether they decide to refurbish, kind of fix up FedEx, or they decide to build a whole new stadium and a whole new shopping area to go along with it. The third thing I think new ownership needs to deal with is the long-term vision of Ron Rivera at head coach. Now, obviously, if the Commanders do not have a successful season, and especially when you look at the signing of Eric Bieniemy and his aspirations for a head coaching job, you very well this could be the last year you see Ron Rivera as a head coach of the Washington Commanders. Whether they promote Eric Bieniemy, whether they go out and get a high-profile head coach, because it was rumored that prospective buyers wanted Sean Payton to be a head coach for any contingency for them buying the team. So Sean Payton was rumored to be a target for the Washington Commanders as head coach. So, definitely if Ron Rivera does not have a 500 or above season, if you don't see any kind of progress with this team, you very well could see him on his way out, and they could sign a high-profile coach. Or if they believe enough in Eric Bieniemy, maybe he's promoted. But we shall see. And the last thing, real quick, Sam Howell. Obviously, Sam Howell was drafted by the Snyder regime. One career start. He is the guy now, but if he doesn't show significant progress, you very well could see them maybe making a move for Caleb Williams of USC in next year's draft. So really, how long is the rope for Sam Howell with this new ownership group? So those are the four major areas that I think they need to address. Name change, there's a possibility. Definitely, I think they really reach out to the fans, get a pulse to the fan base and see what they really want. Red Wolves, to me, seems like the favorite. That was my favorite. But again, you guys need to realize Redskins is not coming back. I'm an old school Redskins fan. Like I said, I've been a Redskins fan since I was old enough to know anything about football. I remember the glory years of the Redskins. I remember it was such an electrifying time, and I always remember the Redskins because it was this is what we originally know them as, and it'll always be near and dear to my heart. But it's not coming back, so you got to think about that. And the reason for that, obviously a lot of sponsors were pulling their sponsorship if Dan Snyder didn't sell the team. Now, how much did it have to do with them not liking Dan Snyder? That is a whole nother conversation. But, I just don't think it's coming back. As much as we adore and love that name, it's not coming back. So, I definitely think they need to reach out to the fan base and get a pulse and see what everybody likes. I definitely think Red Wolves and Red Tails, paying homage to the Tuskegee Airmen of World War II, I think would be two good options for this fan base. There's been a lot of Cowboys and Eagles fans that said, look, their choice is Red Tails. I mean, it's not that we really care what they got to say, But I think Red Tails and Red Wolves will both be good options for this team if they indeed decide to rebrand and change the name. The stadium, I think, obviously the Commonwealth of Virginia, a lot of money. They're the front runners right now, but with new ownership, they definitely have to revisit RFK site and maybe renovating or FedEx Field or getting a whole new stadium in the state of Maryland. They have a lot of options now. And Ron Rivera and Sam Howell, how long is their rope this year? If they falter, how soon do you see a change at head coaching and maybe quarterback after next year for the Washington Commanders? So again, I appreciate y'all, man. Big news, big news, big news. Now real quick before I move lead out tonight, we know that videos have been sporadic. Me coming on as a co-host, Greg, just from working, we both work, but videos have been sporadic. We are working out a schedule, and I think we have worked out a concrete schedule for everybody because I am a believer in this channel. I know he is, and I know that a lot of you guys are stuck around. We want to build this channel up to a championship level channel, just like the Washington Commanders. So going forward, starting this upcoming Monday, we will be dropping new videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays every week without fail. We will be dropping a video Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And with preseason games and regular season games, we will be doing recaps at each game. So, whether it's a Thursday night game, a Monday night game, in addition to us dropping videos Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we will be doing recaps after preseason and regular season games and playoff games, hopefully. And I will be doing footage from not spring training, but training camp. So I'll be definitely showing footage from training camp. This not this Friday, but the 28th and 29th of this month, I will be going to training camp. So again, appreciate everybody, man. I appreciate the patience. Appreciate the love that I've gotten coming on with co-hosting with Greg. I am a big believer of this channel. I know a lot of you are. We're going to build this into, if not one of the best Commanders channel out there. So again, I want to kind of reiterate real quick. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, regardless, we will be dropping content. But when the games happen, preseason games and regular season games and playoff games, we will be doing recaps after each game. So definitely we're gonna add a lot more things. We're gonna do Q&As. We're gonna do some live videos. We're gonna do a lot more things. So definitely tune in because it's only. I mean, look, I'm telling you, this channel is going to be dope. So again, I appreciate you guys. Definitely have a beer, have a shot, celebrate this weekend because it is a new era in Washington D.C. football. New ownership. Welcome to D.C. Josh Harris and Magic Johnson, and goodbye, Dan Snyder. Good riddance. Goodbye. So again, I appreciate y'all, man. Definitely keep Greg in your prayers, man. He's not feeling too well. He definitely wanted to be here tonight, but definitely keep him in your prayers. And again, celebrate because the new era going forward is here. So again, I appreciate you guys. Like, subscribe, comment below. Let me know how I'm doing. Wherever you get your podcast, 5-star review is much appreciated. So again, appreciate you guys. You guys have a blessed weekend. Take care. Hail to the Commanders and peace.